deal with him. All right. Take care.
Bye, you too.
Colleen Smith versus William Kennan and Fantasia Ford.
So how do I?
Judge Dominic Camden appearing on behalf of the plaintiff on this case. Judge, I was retained about 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago. I did send in my appearance, but I don't believe it's probably made it into the court's file yet.
We don't have it. No. Okay.
We did send it out the first day, Judge.
Pardon?
I did mail it out the first day of the day I was retained. So.
Okay, that's fine. Kennan and Ford, are they here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there they are. Okay. Did you have your meeting with Hawk?
They never called me. I had the appointment set up. They never called me. So at this point, I don't know. I'm gonna have to call them back again.
Amy?
She's here.
She's here, but
I'm here, Your Honor. Good morning. Yeah, I see that she did have a 17th. On the 17th, she was supposed to have Angela call. But I have nothing else further than that. Yeah. I'm not sure what happened.
will they try to reset a call for her?
Of course. Of course.
Okay. All right. We'll try to get that part taken care of.
Thank you.
Mr. Hamden, what does your client want to do in this case? This is a termination.
This is the termination of tenancy case. It's been adjourned, Judge, several times. I did talk to my client, and I do apologize, but I don't think I've got a proper understanding on why this has been adjourned out. And I'm not faulting, Your Honor. I'm not understanding the reasons for the adjournments. It was a termination of tenancy, not a non-payment of rent. There was a notice to quit that was filed. And then there was the summons and complaint has been filed. I'm curious as to the reasonings.
I think because there was, if I'm recalling this one correctly, there's an intervening tenancy in this, which is a bit difficult for the court to even figure out, because I think it was something with the daughter.
So Angela Ritchie, Judge, I was slightly, I don't want to use the word suspicious because it sounds so bad in the courtroom. I was thinking that was what was the issue. My client's daughter lived on the property, and I was suspicious that maybe the other occupants were indicating that maybe they had the consent from her in order to stay in the property. But that individual, Judge, no longer lives there. She moved out a few days ago. And so.
Okay. So a few days ago, because, but.
Go ahead, Your Honor.
They also took the doorknob.
Before she was here.
I'm not going to interrupt the judge. I apologize, Judge. Go ahead.
But before she was in the property. And that was part of the issue, as I'm recalling.
Yeah, and I thought maybe that was what the concern was, Judge, but she is not there any longer.
Okay, so daughter moved out 2 days ago. All right, Miss Ford, what were you gonna say?
The house is, like I've said before, unlivable. There's holes in the walls everywhere. The piping does not work. There's a lot of issues with this house. And they've also taken the doorknobs since moving out. I don't really understand that, but that's just about it. There's been no repairs on the house, no nothing.
Who took the doorknobs?
Miss Ritchie.
If that would have been anybody, Judge, that would have been the other tenant who was staying there. But I'm not 100% sure how there being occupancy problems would create their ability to stay there in perpetuity.
No, I get it. This is just a mess. Probably belongs in family court. Ms. Ford,
Yes,
I think you and William were also trying to look for a place, correct?
yeah.
Okay. How's that going?
It's not going very well. I have credit issues. He's trying to find employment. He has a criminal record, so that's taking a bit of time. And issues with his education. Um, we don't have any
Okay.
help. The only
All right.
thing we're counting on is Hawk.
Amy, how soon can that appointment be rescheduled to see what might be out there for these folks?
Your Honor, I just reached out to the scheduling team, so she'll be updated. She'll be contacted actually once they've sorted out what happened. I apologize if that had happened.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So.
All right.
I can make an overture, Judge, that may be able to maybe get this wrapped up. And I know that the normal time frame to remove is 10 days. My client is willing to extend that to 30 days to give them an entire month in order to find another location to reside. And that should give them an opportunity to meet with Hawk to look at relocation. What my client's largest concern is probably rescheduling this for another hearing and trying to do this on another occasion. And so she is willing to make that overture to give them an additional 20 days.
Well, that's fine, but it's hard for them to do that because, I mean, I guess they could accept that if they wanted to, but it's hard to do that when they're not sure what the options are, which was one of the things that was supposed to happen from Hawk. So,
the issue I see though, Judge, is the fact that they're finding a location to go to through the Hawk doesn't impede my client's ability in order to occupy the premises. My client is sympathetic and she's attempting to make an overture.
whoa. Counsel, be real careful, because I think that this case was brought and not everybody that should have been included in this was included in this. And I am also not sure that, at least as of 2 days ago, when the other person moved out, that this would have been the person to initiate these eviction actions against these two individuals. So if we want to go the strict legal route, we can do it. But I think you better be careful what ground you think you're standing on.
I understand the court's position. I guess my concern, Your Honor, is this has been going on now for what appears to be approximately 3 months. And as I've indicated to the court a few days ago, I'm getting up to speed with regard to the legal minutia as well as the factual minutia. But this has been pending now for a while, and my client, I believe, is the owner of the property and is making an overture to hopefully appease both the occupants and allow them to find time in order to relocate beyond what I think the legal requirement is, which is 10 days. And so they're attempting to make an overture, Judge, in order to get this resolved.
Going to require an answer. I'm going to set this over to the 28th. Amy, can we get them an appointment before next Friday so they can see what their options are?
I'm not
Because
sure.
I think they've got three kids that they gotta,
I
am I
understand.
right, Ms. Ford?
Yeah.
So they're a family eviction.
And Judge, just a quick note before the courts looks at its docket. On the 28th, I have to be in federal court in the morning, so I will not be available that day.
Then I gotta go to August 4th.
Judge, August 4th, and I apologize, Judge, but on August 4th, I will be on my anniversary with my wife.
Do you still like you? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know.
No, you don't have to answer that.
It's been 21 years and I've not gotten any paperwork in the mail or any phone calls from any of the lawyers. So I'm presuming.
Okay, all right. Here's my problem. if you're not available the 28th and the 4th, I'm not available on the 11th because that's our jury selection. And 1 week out of the month, we don't do landlord tenant. And so that would put it on the 18th. Quite frankly, although there are scheduling issues, that might be the best option because then whatever can be explored through Hawk in terms of relocation for the family can at least happen. They can have a time frame. It may then even fit within or relatively close to your time frame of the overture that you made. So that, for whatever reason, might be our best bet. I'm going to adjourn this to August 18th. What time do we have? 2023, 9 a.m. They'll get that appointment from Hawk. I've noted in the file that the daughter's moved, and let's see what we can get done. I think the defendants are well aware they have to move. It's just trying to find options to try and do it. That's where we are on this. So,
Judge,
all right.
I believe I interrupted the liaison, and I do apologize to her if I did. Did she say that appointment had been scheduled?
Oh, I'm currently talking with the scheduling team to get her rescheduled back on. And it seems like it will be less, not so much for rental assistance, but for family shelter assistance.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Just want to clarify that. Thank you.
All right.
She'll be
Okay.
contacted though for that.
So, and we can certainly get something hopefully within that time frame now that we've set this out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. And happy anniversary.
Thank you,
Court
Judge.
calls the case Janice Williams versus Van Jenkins. Fred Hegan versus Nakia McDonald.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
May it please the
morning,
court. Dominic Sylvester appearing on behalf of Mr. Hegan.
Nakia McDonald.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
I film B. All right. Okay, where are we on this, folks?
Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay, whichever.
Your Honor, this is our complaint to recover possession of the property. There's still outstanding rent that's due and owing of $2,407. There's also late payments that are outstanding of $525. There's an outstanding water bill of $137.
Well, I don't know, my file is marked this as a termination, or is this a non-payment?
This is a termination, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I've asked for a complete ledger of what was owed in rent. Utilities are being taken care of, but I asked for my ledger for rent because I am getting assistance through some agencies, but because the court documentations that were first received for the last court date
all right.
only stated.
Mr. McDonald, hold on a moment.
Yes, sir.
Because you have a current lease.
Yes, sir.
So, counsel, what's the basis for the termination?
Under the lease agreement, Your Honor, if there is a failure to perform any condition under the lease agreement, under paragraph 19 of the lease agreement, that constitutes a default, which would allow my client to terminate the lease and the tenancy. The defendant is behind several months in rent.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, but the problem is if it's funds due or rent, by statute, there would have to be a redemption. If it's a straight termination, there's no redemption. So, all right, look. How much are you claiming? I mean, this is really about money. So how much are you claiming is owing?
In total, Your Honor, $3,069.
$3,069? Okay.
Correct.
And ma'am, are you disputing that amount?
In a way, yes, I am. They're including my utilities, and everything else with the rent. The utilities is being taken care of as we speak. The DT is not the amount they're saying. And like I said, my court documents only stated half of the rent. It didn't state what was owed. So therefore, my conclusion, RPI, my Section 8, took care of either May or June's rent. And also, even that's a questioning that I'm talking with them about, because I have 4 different rent adjustment with different amounts.
Okay.
So yes,
Everybody
it's
just stop. Everybody stop. You guys have taken usually what are simple cases for me and turned this into whatever. I've got a termination case that's really about rent. Plus your Section 8.
They're including my utility bills, and
No, I didn't ask you that. Are you Section 8?
Yes, sir. I am. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And monthly, what is your portion?
Monthly, I don't know. Like I said, when I first moved in, I have 2 different rent adjustment. One was for $946, I believe, and the other one states $846 with all the same months. Now, I've recently had another rent adjustment because I was off work due to medical leave since March. So I've recently had my rent adjusted, and I have 2 more different rent adjustments for the same months, but they're different amounts.
Your Honor, I can explain the adjustments if you'd like.
Yes, please.
She still hasn't paid her portion for May or June. Her portion of the contribution for rent was $871. Mishta also hasn't paid the full amount that they owe for May and June. In July, it was adjusted again. Her portion for just July was $27, but Mishta is also short $500. So in total, the back rent that's due is $2,407. We did not include a DTE bill in the utilities, only the water bill, because that does run with the property and would be my client's responsibility. So we didn't include the DTE.
Got it.
And this is where the confusion is coming from, because I'm getting different things, and so are they.
Ma'am. Problem that we have here is you haven't paid.
I can make a payment Friday, but it needs to be adjusted on what is the actual amount, is all I'm asking for.
Well, there's a bigger problem, because if there's $871 that's owed, that's your portion for 2 months. Council, was that $871 per month, or was it just $871 total?
$871 per month. So for May, it's $871. For June, it's $871, and then July it's $27.
Okay. So, but then the RBI hasn't paid their portion for July.
And a part of their portion for May or June.
Okay, right. Okay.
And they're not paying any of the late fees either.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
That's probably at this point the least of my worries, because this is a mess. You said for July that they haven't paid $500. Did they let you know why?
Other than they missed it. That was all that they told my client.
And okay, they missed it. Were they going to then pay it?
Well, my client is still not clear on that. All he knows is that at this point he's out over $2,400, and there's 2 sources of payment. And that's why
I get it.
I know.
I'm just trying to figure out, ma'am. All right.
Yes, sir.
So,
Your Honor, at this point, we'd be willing to waive any back rent just for a judgment of possession only.
Well, I can't. Here's the problem with that. I can't do that only because it's a subsidized property. So we can't just do it that way. I mean, I get what you're saying, but we can't do it that way. Ma'am, do you have the notices of your rent adjustment?
I have 4 notices. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you do me
I
a
can make
favor?
a
Can
payment
you do me a
Friday.
favor? Miss
Yes, I can.
McDonald, Miss
Yes, I can.
McDonald, do me a favor. Just answer my question.
Yes, sir.
You have adjustments. You have your
Yes.
notices of adjustments.
Yes.
Okay. You need to get those to the court. Every
Yes,
copy
sir.
of your adjustment.
Yes, sir.
Counsel, I'm going to need a ledger. I don't think you supplied. That's all right. I'm going to need a ledger that's going to at least include, well, we're talking May and June, that would include at least April. So if I can get it from the beginning of the year, that would be good. Part of the problem here is that we sometimes have problems with RPI. Neither side of what the parties are explaining to me is, I get that it can happen. The very fact that the landlord isn't getting that portion, which is clearly owed, is a problem. It's also a problem from the tenant's perspective as to what to pay, because it sounds like there are numerous adjustments that are happening, and somebody, not the landlord nor the tenant, but somebody's not keeping track of that. So I need that documentation so I can see what was paid and whatever, because Ms. McDonald, it may very well be that you owe money,
Yes, sir.
but
Yes,
I
sir.
can't tell what that is right now.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
Like I said, I am willing to make a payment Friday.
Okay, you just keep talking.
But
So
you're
just listen.
you're not justifying it. So I was just saying if that was okay or not. Okay. Thank
I'm
you.
not doing, really been doing this 30 some odd years, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Are you gonna walk up in my courtroom and tell me that?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
You must have lost your mind. Get that document to me. Just get the documents to me. I'll adjourn this out 1 week. Ms. McDonald, check your
Yes,
attitude
sir.
before you walk back into my courtroom. What time?
Yes, sir.
Ann? What time, Ann?
Thank you.
At 9 a.m. Don't say anything else, please. 28th, 9 a.m. Court calls the
Your Honor,
case of LaQuanda Marshall
Thank you.
versus Conchanika Thomas.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi.
Thank you.
Court calls the case BO Properties versus Wayne Sparks.
Danny Horn
Yes,
for the
sir.
plaintiff.
Mr. Sparks?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I'm looking at the notes from the first hearing. There was a claim of $1,197. You're claiming, Mr. Sparks, that you paid $590 additional when you moved in?
Yes, I did. I had
And you were
the,
hold on, and you were supposed to get it back. What do you
Yes.
mean?
that's what, this lady, the lady at, Red Shield, I guess she pulled a scam on me because after I paid, the first, I gave her $1,065, which was the cost for the first month's, last month's, security. And she told me that after I signed all these papers, I was in a bind because I didn't have nowhere to live. And I had $590. And she told me I had to give her that whole $590 to move in extra. And I had a friend that helped me move in there, and he was he wrote a statement for me that's notarized here, and he was present while this whole sham was going on. And he wrote a letter. This is
Okay, hold on, Mr. Sparks. Just hold on a second. Counsel, you know anything about this? This might have been before Beal took over.
Your Honor, I'm looking at the ledger, and what the ledger says, excuse me, is that there was a credit that was paid of $950 on March 31st of 2023 from Catholic Social Services. That same day, there was a cash payment of $590.
Okay, so it was
I
applied.
gave
Hold on.
him $115 cash with the $950 to take it to one. If you look at the ledger, it'll show that I paid $1,065. I gave him the check for $950, and I gave him an additional $115 cash to take it to $1,065. And after I did all this, she demanded that I pay an extra $590 to move into.
That's, but Mr. Sparks, if you heard what counsel said, the $590 is on the ledger. So she applied it.
Well,
Okay,
I never, and this is my second issue, right? Like the day that Red Shield signed me, Bill was not my, I'm on a 30-day.
I know. I hear you, Mr. Sparks. What I'm indicating is the 590 that you claimed is on the ledger. So she put it on the ledger. So you've been given a credit for the 590.
Okay, and
Okay, so
Okay.
now hold it. The issue is that there's $1,197 that's owed. And so the issue is going to be, how are you going to get that paid?
the issue is that I never signed a lease with Beal Properties. That's the issue, because they were supposed to take over, and they never
Okay,
did.
so,
They never
Mr.
came to me and had me sign a lease with them. My lease is on a 30-day lease, and they never had me sign a lease with them.
Sparks,
Yes.
I don't know that you want to go down that path. Unless you've got some other place to go. Because if you're saying you're not supposed to be a tenant there, then they're going to end up evicting you.
Well, I mean, I was supposed to see a lawyer about it. I haven't talked to they won't even talk to me. Bill won't even talk to me, so I've tried reaching out to everybody I could. I have the name. This is the next person that I reached out to. Her name is
Are you supposed to talk to a lawyer?
yes.
Okay, you need to talk to him before next week then. I'll give you a week to talk to a lawyer.
Where am I gonna get one? Who do I, what, I mean, is that,
All right, here's what I'm gonna give you instructions in just a moment. So I'm gonna adjourn this to the 28th. July 28th, 2023, what time?
11 a.m.
At 11 a.m. And Mr. Sparks,
yes,
Legal Services has walk-in hours at their address at 15 South Washington in Ypsilanti on Tuesdays from 10 to 11:30,
okay,
and on Thursdays from 2 to 3:30. So you just need to walk in there, explain what your issue is, and see if they'll represent you or can give you some advice.
okay, but I have also reached out to the First Step Referral Services, and I talked to Crystal Rice, and she said that she would, help me get the money to pay up the back rent, so and I haven't.
Okay, Mr. Sparks, I do both of those. So if you want to talk to an attorney, I've given you the walk-in hours. And then if somebody's going to help you with the rent, you need to come back and let us know that that's going to happen. I'll give you a week to get all that in place.
Okay,
All right, so we'll see you next week at 11.
all right.
Thank you. Court calls the case, Beal.
Excuse me, Your Honor. When I was in court last week, the judge there told Beal to reach out, to me and discuss this, to see if we could work something out, and I went to the office, I've called the lady that says that.
Okay, Mr. Sparks, if you want to work something out, You can talk to a lawyer and then try to work something out. You can call and try to work something out. They don't have to agree, but the phone number for the lawyers is on the paperwork you received. So you can give them a call.
Okay,
All right?
all right. I have difficulty with, communicating, I'm 70 years old, and I'm in first stages of Alzheimer's, and I have, difficult time, connecting with people, and it's like,
Okay, so what I would do is I would try to get to legal services, explain all that to them, and see if somebody can help you make the call to BO Properties or the attorney, okay?
okay, because I have
All
enough,
right.
I have enough money to pay my rent. I just don't have the money to, I thought that, I don't know, I just got confused about, it's just like you said, it's a mess, and I've been trying to reach out to somebody, to help me, and I just haven't connected with anybody yet, I mean, all these agencies, they say we do this and we do that. And the next thing I know, I'm, put on hold, and appointments being made that's never kept. And, I mean, it's just really difficult for me to, get some kind,
Start with legal services and see if they can help you, okay, sir?
all right.
Thank you.